Hey guys, Marauder here, and welcome to another collection update. I have 10 games in front of me that I bought since the last collection update, and this should conclude all of the games up until after the Christmas season. So, we'll get started here. The first is a stack of games I picked up at GameStop, and the first one is Katana. This is a bullet hell style shooter for the 360. Really good game. I've wanted it for a while. It's been on my Amazon wish list for a while, and I saw it there for $8. You really can't pass it up for $8. It's in really good shape and plays well. So if you guys like bullet hell shooters, games like Raiden or Ikaruga or games like that, this is one to check out. Death Smiles as well on 360 is very similar to this one. So yeah, a lot of fun. So if you like bullet hell shooters, check it out. It's also got a pretty good two-player mode. The second game I picked up at GameStop that day was a DS game called Nostalgia, and this is an RPG. It tries to harken back to older RPGs, hence the name. Games like Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior, Final Fantasy, that kind of thing. And actually, when I bought it, the guy at the counter said it reminded him a lot of Tales of Symphonia or Skies of Arcadia especially. And Skies of Arcadia being one of my favorite games of all time. I can't wait to start this. I've got a couple other games on my plate right now, so I haven't been able to really touch this, but this was $7, so well worth it, and very happy to have that one. Now, this next game, I have a little bit of a mini rant to go with it, and that is I picked up the God of War Saga for PS3. The reason I went to GameStop was because they had a coupon emailed to me where all of their PlayStation collections like this were half off, which means this would only cost me $19.99. I went in expecting to get the Killzone Trilogy collection because I really liked Killzone 1 and I wanted to see it remade. But they didn't have it when I got there, so the girl's like, well, we have God of War. And I was like, oh yeah, great. 5 games in one pack for $20. I mean, you really can't go wrong. So I get home, and the 5 games that are in here, there's only 3 that are physically in the box. The other 2, which are the PSP games, Blades of Olympus and Ghosts of Sparta, have to be downloaded via an included voucher. I was not aware of this. I hate when companies do this whole voucher thing. You know, like, so you can't really say there are 5 full games in here because there aren't. There's only 3. The other 2 aren't in the box. The other 2 are off in the cloud somewhere. So I was very upset. But of course, I opened it. I can't take it back to GameStop because there's nothing wrong with it. And actually, if you look at the cover, there's a tiny, tiny little asterisk where it says full games, and then if you turn it over it says that those 2 games are included via the voucher. But I didn't see that little asterisk, I didn't know about it, nobody told me. Very underhanded thing for Sony to do. So I sent a message to Sony. I wasn't expecting anything, I just wanted to, air out my, I wouldn't say anger, but just my frustration with them and what they do. And they sent me back basically a message that says to go screw myself, which was nice of them, very nice of them. I didn't expect a response, but it was a very inappropriate response, I think. And so I don't know what to do with this. I don't really want it. I mean, I want the 3 games that are in here, but the other 2, the 2 PSP games, I'm going to have to go out and buy separately in the Origins collection, just to have them all. And as for God of War Ascension, I'm most likely not going to buy that because it comes with an online pass, and I don't support online passes. So, who knows? I might sell the code that comes in here for anyone who's interested in it. I really haven't decided that yet. And I haven't gotten around to actually playing this yet because I have other games in the stack that I'm getting into instead. So, Sony, if you're watching, which I doubt you are, this isn't funny. I'm very upset, and, and your response was very unprofessional. So, yeah, there's that. But I'm sure the 3 games that are actually in the box are very good because I've played all 3 of them. So, the next one I've got is just a stack of random PS3 games I picked up. I don't even remember where I got some of these. The first one is 3D Dot Game Heroes. This is a PS3 exclusive that I more or less was lukewarm to when I first saw it, but I found this for $8 at a store near my house, so I just decided to, what the hell, pick it up. I have not had time to get into this, but I have heard from people online that it's very much like the original Zelda, so that's exciting. But I have not been able to really play that much yet. The next one is I picked up a copy, used at GameStop, of Uncharted II. And this is obviously to continue the story because I beat Uncharted 1 recently, so I can jump straight to this one. I have started this one. It is a lot of fun. Feels more refined than the first one. I didn't have a problem playing the first one, but in comparison to this one, the first one comes off a little clunky now. But overall, still really great game. Can't wait to get further into this. Really enjoying it, and didn't cost me that much, so I'm very happy. The next one is, of course, Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception. This is to wrap up the whole trilogy. I was looking for this for a while. They have the Game of the Year edition that came out, and that was $40, and this original version was $20. I didn't really care for the Game of the Year edition because it's just not important to me. So I found this at Target for $20 and picked it up right away. So I can't wait to get into this one, but I got to beat the second one first, obviously. This next game I picked up off of Amazon used, and that's a copy of Hyperdimension Neptunia. This is a great RPG. I'm really enjoying this one. I bought the second one first, assuming that the stories were more like a Final Fantasy or a Dragon Quest, where there's no real continuation between the two, and I was sorely mistaken. Things are happening in MK2 where they're meeting characters and doing things that they've apparently done before, and I'm not aware. So I went out and picked this one up. It's got a slightly different battle system than the second one does, but really enjoying it. The dialogue is hilarious. If you're a really big fan of video games, there are so many in-jokes in this that it's unbelievable. The combat systems, you know, your standard turn-based, whatnot, which is interesting because MK2 has a more strategic battle system where you move the character within a certain range and then attack, where this has just attack, select target, go kind of approach. I don't know which one I prefer. They both work well, but this is a lot of fun for sure. So if you're interested in this series at all, pick this one up. It's only going to get more expensive. This is the American version, and I'm kind of a stickler about this. I could have picked up the English version from Europe for, you know, a decent price, but then the cover would be different, and that would upset me. So I spent a little bit more to get the American version. So just be aware of that when you're looking for it. If you are looking for the American release, it's harder to find. But if you don't care, you can go ahead and pick up the English version. Apparently it's a lot more common, a lot cheaper, and it is region free. So that particular version of this, the American version is region 1 only, so it only works on North American systems. But the European version will work on any system, doesn't matter. So, again, I question why there's even region coding on these things, but that is something to consider. So if you really don't care, go ahead and pick up the English one. Enjoy yourself. I'm sure it's the same game. But for me, I really wanted this one. Let's see. Oh yes, Black Friday came and went, and Best Buy had a certain game for $15 off on their ad. Now, I was not about to go out and wait in a line and fight crowds for a possibility of getting it when I can just order it off their website with free shipping and get it, which is a copy of Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance for the 3DS. I have not played any Kingdom Hearts games at all. I've pretty much avoided them like the plague, mainly because I'm not a huge RPG fan. But lately, I've really been getting into various RPGs. Hyperdimension Neptunia, Blue Dragon, games like that, Tales of the Abyss, and so on and so forth. And so I've really come to appreciate the games more and actually been seeking them out. And for $15, I figure why not jump in and try this out. Friends of mine have said that I need to play the first two at least to get the story, but I don't really have those, and I want them, but I'm not about to go out and try to find, you know, PS2 games right now when I don't have a PS2 hooked up. So this is worth looking at, especially for $15, and I figured why not. Hopefully it'll be fun. I have not gotten into this yet because of other games in the stack, but again, for anyone out there who's played this, hopefully I did a good thing. But I can't wait to get into this. I'm a big Disney fan, so this will be a lot of fun. And the last two games are from my PlayStation Vita. I know, just don't get too shocked. I found these on Black Friday at a store that I work at. They actually had all the PlayStation Vita games for half off. So you could get ridiculously good deals on some games. And the only game I wanted on PS Vita at the time was a copy of Mortal Kombat. This is the port of the complete collection that's from the consoles, ported over to the Vita, with all the characters, all the movesets, everything intact. It is absolutely an amazing fighting game. Tons of fun, having a blast with this. I love that they threw in Kratos and why not Freddy Krueger. You know, it's unbelievably fun. The graphics are really nice. The textures could be a little bit better, but you know, this is a pretty early release on the Vita, so I'm not going to go nitpicking it. The controls are fluid. The frame rate is solid. The D-pad on the Vita is just amazing, and it's like custom made for fighting games. I think they really went back to the drawing board with their D-pad and came out with something on the Vita that will work surprisingly well. I didn't have any problems putting in the different combo moves or pulling off anything. I could just do it and it worked, so it was great. This is a fantastic port of Mortal Kombat. I don't have the one on console, but this is one to look into if you have a Vita. And I highly, highly recommend this. It's a lot of fun. And the last game I picked up, which I have not had time to get into, I hope to, is, of course, my copy of Persona 4 Golden. And if you guys saw my unboxing of the collector's edition of this, this is just the game out of the case. Everything else is up in my room, stored away, and yeah. So, have not had time to get into this one. Heard lots of really good things. I have a friend of mine who's actually very excited that I got this. He cannot wait for me to start playing this, and so I should really be jumping into this too much. Right now it is sitting in my Vita, so I will be getting to this momentarily. But there are just a couple other games I want to finish first before I really delve into this, because I hear this is a couple 100 hours worth of gameplay, and I'd hate to not give it the time it deserves. I also understand that it takes a couple hours to really get going, so that's another thing I have to consider is, do I want to stick with it for the supposedly 3 to 5 hours that it takes to really get the story rolling? And I do. I really want to, so I want to be able to dedicate enough time to this before really just jumping into it. And, yeah, so looking forward to this one as well. That should be everything that I have. This should be the last collection update until after Christmas, or a little bit after that even, depending on how many games I get for Christmas. And, yeah, other than that, I hope you guys saw some games you were interested in. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on the next collection update.